Mike here with another video, and today I wanted to do a quick review on the Google Pixel Fold. So let's get into it. All right, so I've been using this for a couple weeks now, and I've definitely got some thoughts on it. Now I lucked out and I got this one on eBay for about 780 bucks after taxes, which, you know, is essentially half price of what you would get. So obviously, if you buy this from Google or anywhere else, it's going to cost you about 1,800 bucks, but I got it for essentially half that. So for me, I think that's pretty good and definitely well worth the price. And I was shocked at how good a condition this is for what I paid for it. I mean, I couldn't find a scratch on this thing. It looks brand new. And of course, I went with the dbrand leather skin that a lot of folks are using. I think it just looks good. I like the patina on it, but that's just my preference. But anyway, so plan on rocking this thing caseless. So far I haven't had any issues, knock on wood, but I did the same thing with my Z Fold 5, which I have, and dropped that about 2 months ago and cracked the front screen, but hopefully that doesn't happen to this. So enough rambling, let's get into this thing. And I want to start with what I like about this device, and there's plenty. All right, so first off is really the size of this thing. I think this is the perfect size for a foldable. I mean, it's compact. It kind of reminds me of, like, I would equate it to like the 13 mini of the foldables, because really it's the best size that I've found on a foldable. I mean, it just feels right in the hand. Definitely a one-handed phone from the front. And then of course, when you want your full size phone, boom, you got it. You got your folding device. So for me, it's a home run when it comes to the size of this thing, the form factor. And I hope they don't change that with the Pixel Fold 2, but rumors are that's kind of what it's looking like, as far as they're going to go with more of a OnePlus look, which to me, I think that'll be a mistake, because that's my number one positive thing on this, or favorite thing about this, is just the form factor. Now, along with the form factor, I just think the build quality is excellent. I mean, you have folks that complained about the bezels on this thing, and honestly, that's never once been an issue to me. I just don't notice them. I mean, they melt away. I think the screen quality is good. The brightness, refresh rate, all that stuff is just really good. I mean, I really have no complaints on the build quality of this at all. Now, initially when I got it, when I'd open it, it didn't quite open all the way, and it still does that, but if I just give it a little bit of pressure, it straightens out and opens flat as a pancake. So I think they did a really good job with the hinge and everything on this. So the build quality is definitely impeccable. So no complaints with it whatsoever, to be honest with you. I mean, even going to the cameras, I know they're not quite as good as what you would get on the Pixel 8, Pixel 8 Pro, but I mean, I've had no complaints with the cameras on this whatsoever. I mean, it's got a 5-time optical zoom, which I think is pretty good. Then you can go up to 10-time digital. But obviously, I mean, you look at the Marques Brownlee, he did his annual camera thing, blind camera test, all that, and this phone was one of the top ones there. So honestly, I've got no complaint about the pictures or the video in this. I mean, I think it's a great camera. There's thousands of samples out there. Like I said, this phone's been out for over 6 months, so I'm not going to show you any samples. You can go check that out yourself. I mean, just know that it's a good camera. So now getting into what I don't really like about this device, and that is the software. I mean, it's one of those things where you either love it or hate it, but I personally don't like the Pixel skin. I think it's the worst one available on Android. It's actually the least customizable. I think Samsung's is the best, but with this, the thing that infuriates me and I hate is you're still not able to delete the Google search bar on your home screen. And I hate that with every fiber of my being. I mean, to me, it's very Apple-esque. I mean, I don't know why they won't let you remove that. It just is frustrating. And you're also kind of limited on the app grids. So I don't know. It feels very Apple-like, and I don't like it at all. So I really hate the Pixel skin. And the unfortunate thing is you can use a different launcher. Like, I wish I could use the Microsoft launcher, which I can, and it looks great on the front screen, but then when you go to open it up, it's all stretched and it's just not optimized for the inner display, which kind of sucks, because Google has done a terrible job of optimizing the space on the inner display. I mean, why you can't use the whole screen, I don't know. I hate how you can only have 6 icons in the dock, whereas with Samsung, they allowed you to have 8. And of course, with Samsung, you can also have your little slide over bar, but you can have more. And I don't know, I hate that about it. So I'm hoping with future updates that they fix this issue and the other issues that I have. And really a big one is app pairs. I don't know why you still cannot do app pairs on this. So multitasking on this is kind of painful in my opinion, as far as once you're set up, it works well, but it's just so many extra steps to set up multitasking to have 2 apps, as opposed to say Samsung and especially the Microsoft Surface Duo, which is still the king of multitasking. So if you want to run 2 apps at once, then the Surface Duo is still by far the best option out there. But again, I would give Samsung a second place. I've yet to use the OnePlus, so I can't really comment on their software, but just the ability to have app pairs would definitely make a difference when it comes to multitasking on this. And I have ran into, and I'm trying to capture it on video, I'll show you some B-roll, but when I am multitasking, say I have one app and I go to open the second one, I get a lot of crashes, and it probably happens at least once to twice a day. It doesn't sound like a lot, but to me, it's frustrating. It just glitches when I want to do 2 apps at once. And that's really the only time I use the inner display, is when I want to multitask or watch media, of course. But again, not having app pairs is definitely stinks. So kind of the way I got around it is, even though they limit you with only 6 apps on the bottom dock, is the 6th one on the far right, I put the apps that I typically will multitask with, so it's quicker to find it. It cuts out a step of having to search, scroll, find the app I want to multitask with. I have the typical ones that I use right there in the dock. So say I'm watching a YouTube video, I can hit that, drag it over, and boom, I'm multitasking. But that's kind of my technique. Again, I'll try and show you some B-roll, but really, I have no complaints about this hardware. Like I said, the battery life has been really good as well. So easily it gets me through a full day. I would say that it's slightly better than what I was getting with the Z Fold 5, but just like many reviewers have said, you tend to use the outer display a lot more on this, which obviously uses less battery life. Whereas on the Z Fold, it's the opposite, because the Z Fold's outer display is kind of, I don't know, not the greatest aspect ratio, not the greatest size. So I do use this a lot like a typical phone. So maybe that's why I'm getting better battery life. But to me, I've been surprised with the battery. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. So as I said earlier, I mean, really the annoying thing I don't like about this device is the software, which again, everything can be fixed. I guess I can get over the stupid Apple-esque not getting rid of the search bar if they give me app pairs and at least let me put 1 or 2 more apps on the dock, which would help with multitasking, so I don't have to search, find the app I want. It's just, I don't know, it makes multitasking a bit frustrating on this compared to the Z Fold or my Surface. So the question is, obviously, am I going to stick with this? For now, yeah. I mean, it's really this form factor that's kind of got me. I mean, like I said, it kind of reminds me of the iPhone 13 mini of foldables. It's just, to me, the most compact foldable when it's folded. And I really like that about it. So it just feels good in the hand. It's one-handed. Like I said, build quality, battery, all that's good. So I'm going to keep using it. I'm definitely not going to sell it. I'm going to hold on to this to see how it progresses with updates, future updates. I mean, Google's committed to supporting this one for 5 years, so it's still got plenty of life left in it. And a lot of the complaints were about the Tensor G2, whatever. I've not had any issues with the performance of this at all. It hasn't heated up on me. So all those initial complaints that people had, I personally haven't encountered them. But again, I don't do a lot of mobile gaming. I don't know. I'd rather do other things with my time than waste, time gaming on my phone. But I've had no issues with the performance of this whatsoever. So here in 2024, if you're interested in getting this, I would definitely still recommend it, but I would go search the secondhand market. I don't think it's worth 1,800 bucks. I don't think it was at launch. I don't think it is now. But if you can get this for around 1,000, which if you check eBay, Swappa, Marketplace, they're out there. So I would go with even Amazon Renewed. You can probably get it for anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 bucks. And with Amazon Renewed, you get a 90-day warranty. So I would say if you're interested in this, definitely get it. Just don't pay full price for it if you can help it, because I don't think it's worth it. But so far, when it comes to single screen foldables, it's my favorite hardware out there. Software, not so much, but the hardware definitely. And out of all the devices that I've got, this reminds me the most of the Surface Duo, which I'll show you some B-roll comparing this to the Duo. I still love the Duo too, and this kind of scratches that itch. It's got a lot of the strengths of the Duo, but fixes the weaknesses like the camera, battery, and of course having an outer display makes it obviously way easier. So with that, that was just a quick down and dirty ramble on this phone. Like I said, I've really been enjoying it. The only issue I've had is the occasional glitch where when I try and multitask, but when you're doing that and you're doing something important, it's kind of frustrating, but it's a quick fix. You just close the app, reopen it, and it's gone. But with that, if you have any questions, or there's anything you want to see or know about this device, just drop it in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer it. Thanks.